Hello and welcome to Rock Studios at Automation Fair. I'm Juliana Ackerblum, social media specialist at Rockwell Automation, and I'm excited to be here in the Rock Studios booth today to discuss all things around the newly released Plex Connected Worker solution. We hope you were able to make it to Automation Fair here with us in Anaheim to see the Plex Connected Worker in the expo, but if you're viewing from home, and we welcome you to jump into the chat of this live stream to say hi or tell us what you're interested in learning about with the Plex Connected Worker. And as always, feel free to share any other questions you may have and we will answer them as soon as we can. Here with me today to share some insights into the Plex Connected Worker solution is Anthony Murphy, VP of Product Management at Plex. Anthony, thank you for joining me.
Well, thanks for having me. It's good to see you again.
Yes, good to see you. We have a lot to cover today, so let's get started.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I know that the Plex Connected Worker solution has been a large focus for you for quite some time, right?
It has been, yeah.
So before we get into that, can you share some of the primary factors that are contributing to the vanishing industrial workforce?
Yeah, absolutely, and we like to go to the numbers and talk to our customers, understand the challenges that they're dealing with. And you know, if you look at it, there's something like 2.1 million unfilled jobs that are going to go unfilled by 2030. Wow. Something like 56% of the workforce is going to be gone by 2050, and that's because of 10,000 retirees a day. And so if you think about what's contributing to the skilled labor challenge, it's all about people exiting the workforce. But then also, the ability to attract and retain workers into manufacturing. And so that's really the problem that manufacturers are looking to solve for, which is, first of all, how do I attract and retain, but also as people are leaving, how do I, capture and create that corpus of manufacturing knowledge that's, people have been doing the job for 30 years. How do we make sure we, sort of keep that and document it and digitize it? And so that's really how manufacturers are trying to cope with the problem.
Yeah, those are some interesting points, and although these factors are contributing to the diminishing workforce, it's important to capitalize on the resources like the Plex Connected Worker and how they're going to help manage these challenges. So what strategies can businesses implement to attract and retain talent in a shrinking labor market?
Yeah, we call it the 4 Ps to make it easy, but it's all about connection. And so, some strategies that as we've talked to our customers and as we've tried to figure out what the root problem is and solve, it always came back to these 4 Ps and this connection. And so all about connecting people to purpose, so helping people understand the job that they're doing, like I'm producing a thing, but why does that matter? How does that help the company be better? And then also, how does the company help the overall community better? And so that connection to something bigger. It's all about connecting people to people. We say it's easy to quit a task, it's easy to quit a job, it's very hard to quit a team. And so the more you can foster collaboration and that connection between your workforce will help drive retention. And then connecting people to process, making it very easy to do the job and to do the right thing and to do the right thing well. And that's everything from how you drive work instructions to how you connect to the equipment. And then the last P is connecting people to process. And so people want to be able to manage their careers, manage their jobs, understand what they do, how it impacts upstream and downstream, but also being able to grow their skill set so they can advance. And so, those 4 Ps, people to purpose, people to process, and people to productivity, is really how the strategies that we advise our manufacturing customers to take.
Very cool. So the 4 Ps.
4 Ps.
Those are great suggestions. And I know businesses have really had to think about how they can create, the culture to empower workers. So can you share some of the key benefits of implementing a connected workforce in manufacturing?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some, very tangible costs that you can look at, but there are also some intangibles. And so when you think about implementing connected workforce and worker solutions, it is certainly about driving higher amounts of productivity, safety, and quality with a person who's only been at the company for 30 minutes and giving them the same tools, but also that same productivity as someone who's been there for 30 years. But there's also some things that are, as you think about intangible costs, if you think about the cost to hire, right? Yeah. That is, you've got a recruitment staff, you've got to go out and source people, you've got to onboard people. Those have hard costs that typically fall below the line and don't get measured. And so not only do you have the hard and fast productivity metrics, you also have safety metrics, you also have things around cost, but you also have, to your point, it's all about culture and creating an innovative culture and a connected culture that persists in 5 and 10 years.
Mm-hmm. those are some great highlights, and it shows that how we can make the Plex Connected Worker and those sorts of things to follow the 4 Ps, right? And ensures that manufacturers are able to meet their workforce challenges. So I have one final question for you. Can you provide some examples of how a connected workforce has improved productivity and efficiency in manufacturing?
Yeah, absolutely. I have 2 really interesting customer examples, and we always talk about how can we solve the customer problems, and I get really energized about hearing our customers' stories. And so one is they use the strategy of the 4 Ps. They produce glove compartments, like the consoles that go inside glove compartments, and everybody knows the joke about glove compartments. You put everything in there but gloves.
Yep.
And so their quality metrics were going down, as were their productivity metrics. Because people were just like, it's a glove compartment. Like, all I do is I put my fast food napkins in there, and there's a manual in there that I've never read. But they shifted it, and they started talking to their employees about that glove compartment is actually a safety system that is designed to protect the passenger upon impact of an accident. Oh. It absorbs some of the impact and keeps the passenger safe. And just that subtle shift of helping people understand what it was that they're doing and why it mattered to not just the business and like, here's the metrics and here's margin, that's important, but here's what this means to the broader community, right? Their quality and productivity went up, but so did their employee retention. And so that was a really great example. And then the other one that we've seen, which is really interesting, is about using that people to productivity and that people to process, implementing interactive work instructions, brought down their time to audit from, it was something like, they'll tell you 2 months, but it actually brought it was a little bit longer than that, because they were having to go around and find a bunch of paper on the shop floor, pull it all in, do a bunch of retraining, and then they'd start preparing early. And so just by digitizing their work instructions in a very easy to do way, it pulled their time to audit down to just a matter of days, but also the trust that they got with their auditor went up because they didn't have to spend as much time. Their employees were more satisfied because the employees didn't feel like they were being punished because they had a bad work instruction on a printed piece of paper. And so that also helped the retention. And so just a couple of really, real world interesting examples about, using these strategies and how they're driving not only productivity and quality and efficiency, but worker satisfaction and retention as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to hear the customer stories, like you're saying, and then you can really think about that. I have a new perspective on the glove box now. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about getting the job done in a timely and efficient way, right? So I want to thank everyone for watching and tuning in. We've added a link to this post for you if you'd like to learn more about the Plex Connected Worker. And thank you, Anthony, for taking time out of your super busy Automation Fair schedule to chat.
Well, I was happy to. It's good to see you.
Yes, there's so much taking place here at Automation Fair, and I'm excited that we were able to share some insights on the Connected Worker. And now, don't go far, because we are streaming live the entire day to keep everyone updated with everything Automation Fair has to offer. So stay tuned for more, and thanks for watching.